All right. Good night.
Hi, how are you?
I am good. And how are you?
I'm doing great too. I'm excited. It's good to be here.
I'm excited too. I'm very, very excited. I feel like it's been a little while since I saw you. So I'm happy to see you and to have this chat with you tonight. We have a couple of parents on already just watching, and I'm sure others are going to come on as well. But it's recorded, so they can always come back and see and watch and get encouragement from what we are about to talk about. So welcome everybody to Parent Chats with Pearl. As always, we like to make sure that yes, we cater to our students in the studio or on Zoom, but then we also cater to our parents and just try to share within the community of PDA parents what's happening with other PDA parents. And many times we can feel like if we're in a bubble all by ourselves, but when we hear that somebody else is going through something that we've been going through as a parent, it can help. And I say I'm not a parent as yet, but I try to put myself in your shoes and have sessions like these where other parents get to chat with you. So I'm very happy to have you, Julia, on the line. Julia, tell us a little bit about yourself and what parents are going through as a parent.
I'm not hearing you. I'm not sure if you're hearing me. Seems to be stuck. Hi. Okay, it seems as though Pearl Ann's internet has dropped.
I am back,
All
guys.
right. We're back. Yeah.
I am excited about tonight because this has never happened before in any of our parent chats with Pearls. My internet has always been fantastic. So there's something that you're going to be sharing tonight that perhaps wasn't supposed to, well, we know it's supposed to be heard, but something wanted to stop it from happening. But we are here. And thank you for just hosting it while I was out there just now. But yes, happy to have you, Julia. We're going to get this party started right now. We're talking about the soul stretch. And when I thought about this topic, I thought about parents who are being stretched during this season. And we're having context within the COVID-19 season, right? Because that's where we are at right now. And so the soul stretch is just looking at how parents are being stretched physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, like in all different directions. And we wanted to chat with Julia to see what her perspectives were on that, how she's been dealing with it, and then provide some encouragement for you parents that are watching as well. So we're going to start by Julia telling us about herself, telling us about her daughters, what value she finds in PDA, and then just what she's hoping to get out of this experience tonight.
Okay, so first of all, thank you, Pearl, for inviting me to be a part of this initiative. I think it's really important, being able to connect with people, and I could say that that is one of the things that pull me to Pearls. It is your innovative way of how you do things. You're not stuck in a box, and you're always desiring to find avenues to connect with people and to enhance your product and your brand, and you're very effective with it. What it is that you're doing. So that is definitely one of the, I would say, one of the game changers, because you always have to be changing, and the world that we're in right now. Talking about me, I, I am well. My title, I'm a prophet, and I'm prophet at our ministry, which is Impact Ministries International. I'm the co-founder of that ministry with my husband, Prophet Philip Best. We have been married for soon, is it 23 years? He would always laugh at me because I have to calculate. In 1998, we got married. We have four children, two boys and two girls. My eldest son, he is 29 years old. And the youngest being Sarah, she is 13 years old. She's actually doing her hip hop right now. So, um, yeah, parenting and having children at different stages can be very interesting, and it can be very, very challenging at times. And the last two were born close together, Sarah and Jonathan. We almost call them a twin because they're like 22 months apart. And having that balance is something that's been very important to us. So Jonathan, when he did his 11 plus, he passed for Harrison College. Christina and Sarah, who were dancing really from the age of 4, Christina was looking for something different, and she had started to become feeling like she was not being stretched where she was dancing at the time, and she wanted something different. Sarah is dyslexic, and we found that at the school at the time, they weren't allowing her to sit exams because they did not feel that she had the ability to remember routines. So she would do something what was called a class award, and so she wasn't given the ability to see how she could do. And so she also had this natural gift when it came to hip hop. She was doing her own choreographies, a real love for it. And that school at that time didn't offer the hip hop program. I heard about Pearls through Ramon. Um, Ramon Husbands,
Husbands,
so
yeah.
many years ago. He was a big advocate for Pearls Dance Academy. Have you heard about Pearls? He used to tell me about it all the time. And it so happened that at that time, everything just seemed to fall into place, where Jonathan would be going to school, the proximity to the dance studio, and providing a wholesome, I would say, environment and change. Prior to coming to Pearls, we didn't let the girls dance modern because what I found in performances, they tended to have a darkness to them. And I always wondered, even in expression, if we're expressing ourselves, we can go through something but show a victory at the end. And again, that was different at Pearls. They were able to explore other things like jazz and it just the environment made the difference for us as a family.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. We love to hear it because it gives other parents an opportunity to know, where did she come from, or what's her story. We see everybody around, but we don't really know what each other has in terms of their story. So thanks for sharing that so much, and we love having you guys at Pearls Dance Academy for sure, for sure, for sure. So let's get started with our conversation. Now, when we talk about stretching, when we stretch something, right? We could only assume that when something is stretched, there's pain, there's discomfort, there's uncertainty with the stretching, right? So we're talking probably about a rubber band that doesn't have any feelings whatsoever, but we use the term for ourselves when we feel like we're being stretched. And so I wanted you to start talking about that. What does stretch pre-COVID, what does stretching mean to you as a mom, as a wife, as a minister, as an encourager, as whatever your hats are? What did it mean for you then, and how has it changed for you now?
You see, looking at the word stretch, and as you're talking about it and using the analogy of the rubber band, um, we were business owners for quite a while as well, and we looked at the word stretch in a positive manner because using the rubber band, you were encouraged to stretch because you were never to return to where you formerly were. And even in dance, you also encourage stretching. It's so important because if you don't stretch, you can injure yourself. And so stretching happens before the classes, stretching happens after the classes. Although it may be uncomfortable, stretching is actually a good thing.
A good
Uh,
thing.
Even in exercise, when you are growing muscles, you blood vessels are burst, so that muscle does not that muscle then begins to stretch and it begins to grow. So a stretching process causes us to grow, and even although it may be painful at the time, and we don't understand why we're going through it, it actually is not a bad thing. And so, in our situation, prior to COVID, our lives are extremely busy. And for me, dealing with busyness, I have learned to live in daytime compartments. Not that you don't plan ahead or look ahead, but not worrying about tomorrow. A lot of things are often out of our hands, and 85% of what we worry about never happens. And so, keeping stable or keeping a positive mindset going through things, it helps tremendously. Not overthinking, because a lot of times I didn't even have the time to think, to be quite honest. To sit down and dwell on something so long because one thing is happening, then the next thing is happening, then the next thing is happening. So my approach to that prior to COVID, as well as having a strong faith, obviously, and a relationship and walk with the Lord, is to not overthink things and to work through situations and challenges as they come, and not to allow myself to fall into worrying, to being fearful. So, coming of COVID brought a lot of fear on people because it was unknown, it was a new territory. People didn't know what to expect. And so that element of fear obviously caused people to move into panic. And in the beginning, everybody would have approached it the same way. For us, it was new. You don't know anything about it. So, you're washing everything. You're washing your hands. You're washing your head. You're washing your clothes. It's like extra washing, extra spraying of everything. But, there came a point where we had to put our trust, and that's something that I did very early and I'm not speaking about not being following protocols or anything like that. I'm speaking of the faith and the trust now in the Lord to protect us, and that this is really beyond us. There's nothing that we can do, but what He has said, He will do. And what He has promised, it shall surely happen. So this particular situation does not change His word. And so that is where the confidence then lies in how we approach things, even now in the pandemic. Not rushing into anxiety or learning how to handle various situations. When we have put all of our focus on one thing, things can go neglected. We still have life. We still have to balance. We still have situations that are happening or need to be managed outside of the pandemic. So all the focus on the pandemic can mean that we end up neglecting things in the process. So That has been my approach, really, to just look at things holistically and to have a balance, because that is the way it needed to be before even the pandemic came. You know, what you focus on, what you think about. The Bible tells you to have, to put your thoughts, to have these pure thoughts, what it is that you focus on. And so that is what is important for, and I want to encourage people really to, sometimes we are looking at the problem so much, or the situation, as instead of being able to see outside of that, that there is more to life than current situations and problems. We will go through things and we can be stretched, but we will be stronger. We will be stronger in the end if we allow ourselves to go through the process and learn from it.
So it's a matter of seeing the stretching in a positive way, seeing the stretching in a way that you're looking forward with faith to who you are going to become through this process and when this is all done, as opposed to who you are now, what's happening now, and how things are now. You're seeing stretching as something that can make you better, make you stronger as a person of purpose. So I like that. I like that a lot because many times, like you said, when we're in it, that's all we see.
Yeah,
And if we have an environment around us that's not like this environment that we're providing here, and your environment is, with persons who don't have that same mindset, and they're just negative, or they're always, just focusing on your own things, it can be hard to push through and have such a perspective. So what would you say to a person like that who hears you and would love to be able to live at that place, but their environment is not conducive to encouraging that kind of thought process?
I can tell you first of all that I understand. Um, when I speak from experience, not from having everything perfect or in place, and not having to deal with negativity. I have in my life and my journey have been through a divorce before uh, the relationship that I have now with my husband. So I've experienced pain on different levels, and raised my first on my own before marrying my present husband. And you can go through different situations. I have parents that are elderly. My dad is an amputee. um, so there are several things that you can have happening. And obviously, being in our position as running a ministry, you see all kinds of things in this. To be real, people have lost jobs. There are people that have not worked since last year. um, People have lost loved ones and close family members, friends. So it's not to minimize anything that anyone will experience at any time, but it is how we go through processes, how we deal with depression, how we deal with pain. Sometimes we need to get help. We need to know where we are at and find a safe place, someone who can counsel or help us to work through situations if they feel at this time like it's too much, it's too heavy, it's beyond me. I don't know how to get out of here. That is where you need to get help. And I would suggest that you do so. That is important in this season. Um, when we're dealing with situations, also sometimes who we surround ourselves with, because yes, you may be in a home and it may be persons around you who are negative. Maybe you have friends that are also not helping the situation. And we've experienced that with having to separate. I have chosen at times to separate myself from people, to not, because they were not adding anything to me at that particular time. Doesn't mean that I don't love them or I don't care about them, but sometimes you have to protect yourself, and you have to know what to take in and what not to take in. And so that again is another process, learning that. How much do I build my life based on what people think of me or what people say about me? Am I trying to meet standards that other people believe that I should live by? And all of these things cause people to go through so much, because they don't even know who they are. They haven't discovered their purpose, their worth, their value. And so you are unique. The Lord has made you. You're special. He has a purpose and he has a plan for you. He does care about you. He does love you. And there's always a way. So when we are going through things and they're stretching us, there's always a way that is there that we are able to step up and overcome. And it's good to have people around that will be those that you can stand on their shoulders. I know so many people have been disappointed in relationships, and felt dashed when they confided in people or people turned their backs on them. And I believe that I may be speaking to somebody in particular right now that will be going through that. But I just want to let you know that, yes, it may hurt, but you have a choice who you want to connect with, what it is that you need to put inside of you right now to fill your spirit with. And sometimes for a season, it means that you need to cut off some people. And sometimes for a season, it means too that you need to be comfortable being alone. Because if the immediate environment is not feeding you, you can be fed through other channels, whether it is if you belong to a church and you have a church community, or whether it is there may be positive information that you may find online. We have to be careful with music. We have to be careful. There's so much things that can send us in the opposite direction. So it is finding that input that helps to build and helps us to grow and be able to overcome what it is that we're going through, and helps us to push on, knowing that what I promise you is that things will change. So knowing that you can look forward and you can anticipate that tomorrow will be brighter, it will get better. I can't promise you that something else won't come, because that is life, but it's how we will approach it now, or how we will go through it, because we have grown, and through experience we're able then to press through and overcome.
Man, oh man, oh man. Yes, please. That is definitely food for somebody who's listening, or somebody who would hear this after this recording for sure. Now, it really is a thing for some persons, where their body is concerned and their health is concerned. And then, especially in this time where COVID is of a health concern for some
Yes.
persons, like, how do you manage with that? And so, my question for you is, from a physical standpoint, or from a physical perspective, how have you been stretched during this season to maintain a healthy body, a healthy environment around you? I know from seeing you and your husband going to the gym, but now the gym, like, how were you guys able to now still continue to stretch yourself in that thing that you wanted for your body and for your health? How were you able to still manage with that when the shifts started to happen?
Wow, health. Okay, I've battled with weight when I was younger. So bony. I mean, I could eat anything and no weight would come on. But as you get older, your body changes. And so I found that as I got older, that situation would be more difficult. But also, after having Christina, and we did talk about my two girls, I forgot Christina, who was a part of Pearls and is still connected to Pearls. Pearls helped her to cement her passion for dance. Let me just put that part
Hello,
in.
Claire. No, yeah.
And to move on to her associate degree in dance. And now she is at UWI doing a bachelor's in theater, and Sarah is still a part of the school. As I said, she's dancing right now with Kashka. So health is important, and I had the challenge after having Christina with a serious back problem, where I couldn't even lift her. I didn't know what was going on. I mean, serious medicine. I thought like at one point I was dying. That was a whole process that I went through. Had the MRI, found out a disc was worn, and they wanted to operate, but the Lord said no. And I was determined not to have anybody open up my and go inside. So through also worship and prayer and letting the Lord guide me, I went into the gym bent over, could not even hold up straight. And that started my working out process because I had to strengthen my body. I had to strengthen my core because the stomach muscles were so weak. And that was what was causing the problem with the back. So sometimes we're in pain, and the answer we're thinking exercise. Well, that doesn't make sense. But the answer actually was to exercise, to become fit, and to deal with strengthening my body. And it was not easy. It was very painful in the beginning. It was a long process, but that is how I started to work out. Losing weight, um, again, in COVID, we first, oh Lord, last year, right? I put on so much weight, right? Because you're home now and you're eating everything you don't normally eat. Okay, so normally I don't eat a lot of bread, or normally, but listen, the man was eating the bread and eating the macaroni and eating everything, and I saw weight that I reached like 200, I think, and 13 pounds in that time at home, because the weight is just coming on. And I was not motivated. My husband is different. He is motivated to exercise. I don't get up and go like, yeah, let me go and exercise. No, it's completely different. I have to push myself, but once I am there, I will work really hard. So being home, everything shut down. There was no exercise or anything like that. But when it reopened, I went back in and disciplined myself with the diet. I will be honest, the two have to go together,
Yeah,
and
it's
was
true.
able to bring off probably about 24, 25 pounds. It's still a journey working on that, um, and keeping that consistent. But again, I have to do things at home. I would sometimes with Christina, we would have exercised together when she was here, or sometimes I go outside and I'm doing step ups on the step, or my husband has some old like real old time gym weights. So I go out there and I take up some and try to keep the cardio up, and to keep myself working, because that is the only way. We can't wish it off. I know some people would like, I've heard people talk about miracles, miracle service, miracle weight loss. There's no miracle weight loss, is a discipline. And so looking after our health, it requires you to discipline yourself, diet and exercise. And that's
But
what I've
anyway,
had to do. Yeah, you got to put in the work. You got to put, and the older you get, I had to change my routine, because
mm,
what used to work, it didn't work anymore. So I worked even
mhm.
harder. And that was hard because I was speaking to the trainer, and I was saying to him, I don't understand. I've reduced my eating, but the weight is not coming off. And he said to me, well, if it's not input, it's output. And I said, seriously? So you mean I have to push harder now? And sometimes you would feel like, this is too much, man. Like, why do I have to keep sacrificing? Why do I have to keep giving up things? But again, it goes down to discipline, and it goes down to the whole thing you're talking about, being stretched. And um, our health is important. The way that I see COVID, and this may be controversial, so to speak, but we have a body that God has given us, and it has the ability to fight disease. And what we put in our bodies is going to be important. How we live our lives If we just stay inside and we don't get fresh air, if we don't get sunshine, everything that we really need is there that we can take hold of. And we have to learn how to become healthier. Maybe take a dance class at Pearl's Dance Academy. I've thought about it. I
Maybe,
thought
just
about it, like, oh
maybe.
yeah, but but find something that will challenge you and allow. Again, it is who you allow yourself to be around. There is always a way that you can work through situations and work through life. If we keep focusing, sometimes we need to switch off the TV, we need to switch off the news, we need to switch off the CNN, we need to switch off the press release, everything, what's happening next with COVID, and 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 live your life, okay? Live your life and not being flippant. But I'm telling you that if this is something that they say is going to be around for a long time, then you need to pursue your
Yeah.
purpose, your goals, your passions, whatever it is that the Lord has for you to do. Look after yourself, look after your family. For the family, we're together, we're all in one place. You asked that question, just to answer that quickly. There's 8 of us in the household because mommy and daddy, we are their caretakers. Normally there's 8, sorry, we're down to 2 are not here. Dominic has his own place. Chrissy stays at her grandparents during school time. And
Mm-hmm.
so I make them come out from behind the computers in the home school and go get outside. And the other day I had them running, jumping, doing all kinds of things. I was training them. They were sore afterwards.
You
And I
should
was
come and teach
laughing.
class.
Yeah, man, I was there doing, like we're doing step ups and lunges and squats. And come on, squatting and holding it for a while. And I'm counting down slow. But we do things together, whether it's watching movies, whether I had them playing cards, engaging in activities, spending time together, talking, quality time, devotions, um, making sure they know how much we love them and how much we care
Mm-hmm.
about what they are experiencing
Mm-hmm.
right now, which is not easy. And my thing I've always said is that if I have ministered to the whole world, but my family is lost in the process, I have failed. Ministry
Mm-hmm.
starts at home,
At home. Yes.
at home. So
Yeah.
they're very dear to me.
I can hear it. I can definitely hear it coming out, and that's good. That's the kind of parent that we love to have at Pearls Dance Academy. The kind that definitely not just says they love their child, but they're intentional about what they do. And so, really quickly, because we're looking to wrap up really soon, having a spiritual relationship with God, right? I'm going to say it because at the end of the day, Pearls Dance
Yeah.
Academy is based on solid biblical principles. And we definitely believe that having a relationship with God is helpful and is key to everything in life, you know?
Indeed.
And so, what I want you to share on in this last point is, can you share why having a relationship, especially now having a relationship with God, is critical? And you can use your own personal references as a parent, any practical things that you've had to do over this last year or so because of that relationship that you have with Him, and like personalize it for us.
Yeah. I hear you. I understand. I have in this season sought the Lord more, spent more time with the Lord, spent more time in His Word, because one of the beauties about what has happened is it has allowed us to have more time and to be able to use that time personally to make sure that I am in His Word and that I am reaching out more because also as a prophet, we speak a lot what God is saying. And so it's important that we are hearing and really hearing what God is saying. So it means that that time away with Him is critical. It is critical. to be able to speak his voice, or to speak into situations, to speak into um, chaos and confusion, and be able to bring the voice of God into it. So for me, that time with the Lord has been important. Same thing with the children, that devotion time as well. And a personal relationship with the Lord is critical. These are the times that we are in right now. And so many times people say, well, Jesus is coming back soon. And I've been hearing that for so long. But the signs of the times and what we see happening right now in this earth, it is so important that we acknowledge God. A lot of people have not turned or thought that He has an answer, and wonder why He's distant and He's not here. But He is here, and He's calling each and every one of us to have an intimate and a personal relationship with Him. At the end of the day, that is what our lives, our faith, our strength, our joy, our peace will come from. It will not come from anybody or anything in this world. And I have learned that in my life, that I need him. I cannot make it without Jesus. He is my all in all, and he is my source. And that is what I want to encourage you today. Maybe you have been in church, but you've been feeling empty. Maybe you've been feeling dry. Many people tell us that. They don't feel that connection. Oh my, thank you, Lord. And, you know, you can. You can. The Lord wants us to draw near. He says, be anxious for nothing, but in everything with prayer, with supplication and thanksgiving, make your requests known to me. And the peace of God that surpasses all understanding will guard your heart, will guard your mind in Christ Jesus. We're talking about our minds right now. So many people are challenged with what we're hearing is the mental situation where we're faced with ourselves. Who are we? Where we're faced with what's next. And I can tell you that to go through anything, whether it's COVID or any situation that you may encounter at some point, because even in COVID, people have had situations that completely lost. They can see COVID because of things that came. Life happens. Life is going to happen, but we need a stability. We need to know that there is a hope and there
Mm-hmm.
is a better tomorrow. So
Mm-hmm.
for me and my house, we're serving the Lord.
Yeah. Yep.
And I encourage you also to do the same. And I encourage you to reach out to him, because he's still reaching out to you. He still loves you. You're special. Don't be distracted. Can I say that?
Mm-hmm.
Be careful. This is a season where everybody is hopping from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, and have become unstable. Do not be distracted by every single thing that is pulling for your attention.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on the Lord. Focus on him. If you've never received him as your Lord and Savior, he's calling you to do so today. Just say a prayer, ask him into your heart. And after that, if you want to connect to me, or you can check with Pearl, and she'll be able to give you that information. We will be
Mm-hmm.
so happy, because at this point, what's important is the souls of people. It
Yes.
is where we are, how we see things, and being able to see God in the midst of everything and know that he has you in his thoughts, and he
Yeah.
loves you. He loves
Mm-hmm.
you.
Amen. Oh dear. I think we can go on and we can go on and we can go on, because just as we talk about our relationship with God and how it impacts and just works in and through our life, like that is something that is amazing and precious. Yeah. And my hope and my prayer for this conversation today is that anybody that was on, they were able to be reminded, In some cases,
Yes.
if they know, or just being enlightened to new information that
Encourage.
can
Yeah.
place them on a better path. Yeah, and I know this recording is going to stay on our page, and I'm happy for that. That somebody that passes across it can connect with us and just be able to, have their soul stretched in a way that they've never seen it stretched before, but see so much greatness and see so much power happen because of that stretching. So, Julia, thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you
you so
too.
much for sharing your time and just being, very open. And I can see your heart coming out through the screen, and I know it's real. So I'm thankful for that. Thank you to everybody that came on. I didn't even get to answer what questions today because this is the one time we had the chats was just flooding away with people saying different things. So for real,
Oh,
I'm happy about that. We'll take one question as we look to wrap up. If I don't see any, we'll definitely bring it to a close. Any question you have for Julia whatsoever, now is your time to put that question in there. But if you don't, I think we've gotten a lot out of this soul stretching conversation that we had today. Thank you guys so much. They're just saying thanks for the stretching, a soul relationship with God. Thanks for the stretching. That's there on the screen. Somebody else is
see.
saying thank you. They say thank you.
Hi, so nice to see all of you.
Yes, and this person here, he was saying, intimate relationship with God is very important. Thank you guys so much for being with us tonight. We will be back for another Parent Chats with Pearl. And yeah, thank you so much, Julia. Have a great night, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Great to see you.